Hello and good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the SPORAH Show. My name is Ethel Elaka and I am joined today as always by my co-host Esther Tuni and Theodora Ibekwe.
Hello.
And today we've got a lovely guest. We've got Bethleah Dobbs joining us today on the panel. Welcome ladies.
Hi. Hello.
How's your weekend, ladies? How did you have your weekend?
I thoroughly enjoyed my weekend because why I slept, and sleeping is what really makes my weekend. I loved it.
Yeah. Nice rest after the last weekend of working, right?
Oh my gosh, yes, amazing. Yes.
What about you, Beth? What did you do for your weekend?
What did I do? Again, rest is really important. I had a fairly busy weekend in terms of from Friday, because I do youth work. So we had an event going on that I was helping run.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So the Friday was quite busy. Saturday, I just kind of like collapsed and just chilled out. And then Sunday, pretty busy again, but yeah.
Amazing. And Theodora, what did you get up to this weekend after getting your lovely Valentine's gift that we're all like getting gel for? The Fendi tray, yes. You know.
Yes, I rested because we had a Valentine's last week.
And you were so exhausted from all the Valentines. She was so exhausted from all the loving from the Valentine. I'm just saying. Now, I spent my weekend basically, Sunday was busy with church, but the weekend was basically filled with me like literally fighting with my computer. I love my computer. We've got a love-hate relationship. So that's what I spent my weekend doing.
Nice.
You know, but we hope everybody had a great weekend. And so to help you kickstart your week, we've got some fantastic topics for you today. And so we're going to start with Esther, who's got a very, very interesting topic regarding all the separate generations. Esther, do you want to fill us in?
Absolutely. So, over the weekend, I noticed there was a bit of a discussion on Twitter, as usual. My life is on Twitter. And there seemed to be this unspoken, not unspoken, it's actually very much spoken about, difference between generation millennials and then generation Z. Is it Z
X.
or X? Generation X, the older generation before us, and then the baby boomers above them. There seems to be some kind of a bit of tension there.
Really?
I think so. A lot of people think millennials are lazy and entitled, and we don't have the same lifestyle as the generation above us. They consider us as lazy.
Right.
We don't work the same way. And then even the generation above mine, I am a millennial, they consider us to not be family orientated. We don't get married as soon as we used to. It's just a lot of tension, and I feel like in some way a subcultural difference. There's very much a huge cultural separation between each generation. So what do you guys think? Because I have a lot of questions.
I think the reason why you might be seeing, or there might be, noticeable tension amongst the various generations is because obviously as each generation has come through, there's been a change in society, hasn't there?
Absolutely, yeah.
And so with technology and advancements and, just the evolution as well of how we handle lifestyles, that has created a very different way of how life is actually handled. Lifestyles, work ethic, that has kind of changed. And so I think in terms of any tension that might be there, maybe towards, because obviously your topic was written as, do they feel threatened by the millennials,
yes,
right? I don't think it's a matter of feeling threatened, because that's a bit weird. But I think it's more of, like one of the things that you said, thinking that they're lazy, because of the internet and social media, a lot of millennials are benefiting financially, and some are becoming very successful through social media, which, in all intents and purposes, does look like a very easy way to either fame or fortune, whereas the generation before, they had to really graft to even just earn a living to feed, the family. And so, that could possibly be the reason why there's the assumption that the millennials are actually lazy, are entitled, because some of them have grown up after the parents have worked really hard. So they've raised them, they've brought them up in fantastic homes. And so there's a sense of entitlement where they don't feel they have to work as hard because they don't understand.
Do you think it's entitlement? Because you see, when I hear things like that, a sense of entitlement, that's when I feel like, okay, maybe the generation above millennials feels a little bit threatened by this change or by the fact that we don't have to do things the same way. Just because it's not the same as you did it before doesn't mean that it's not equal, like the quality isn't there. Like, what do you think? Because I don't want to come, I will just be biased as a millennial.
I have a different view to what you two are saying.
Yeah.
They don't feel threatened? I don't think so. Because I would say the millennial generation are the internet gurus, whatever. They're doing well in the internet. They're always on the Instagram, social media and everything.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, even the baby boomers, they have upgraded. They're all doing well. They're all internet, friendly these days. They all know how to use
Internet friendly.
That's what I call them. They're internet friendly as well. They can use it. Then the Generation X, which is where we belong.
Right.
Yeah. I am so good with the internet. Instagram, social media, call it whatever you call it. We are never threatened. I can meet up with anything at any point in time. In fact, I'll tell you that the Generation Z are going to take over. And that's what we are in now.
Generation Z, Yeah, I think when it comes to things like the internet, to be honest, you need to look at it. If Mark Zuckerberg, I think, is considered an X generation, isn't it?
Yeah.
He is Facebook, literally.
Yeah.
So you can't even really
Yeah.
say they are threatened. That's why I think that terminology, threatened, no. I think, for example, I'm a mom. Okay, my son is not even a millennial. He's just below. He's like the next generation that's coming. We don't know what they're going to be. We don't know what they're going to be like. However, I think if there's certain traits that I feel that he needs to implement in order to make him have maybe a better work ethic, a better head on his shoulders, because I think sometimes the internet gives a false sense of I won't say confidence, but what's the word? A false sense of reality, I suppose.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Because it makes people perceive themselves to be a lot bigger or better than they are. Not that we don't want people to feel good about themselves, but I think a bit of humble pie goes a long way, especially when it comes to work ethic. And I think that can be lacking in a generation where people are very much in touch because of the internet, but completely out of touch because they are only on the internet and they don't really have interaction with people on a daily. So as a result, they live in their own bubbles.
I think that's true to an extent. But I use the word threatened because I feel like with young people, the way that we're working today is it's so different from the way that older people understand. And I feel like because we're very clever and very nifty with the things that we're doing, older people tend to make younger people feel as though everything that they're doing is so I know it sounds simplified, but stupid. They kind of make you feel like you're stupid. They'll constantly make fun of the fact that, you didn't have to do 70 hours a week, or you just got your job so easy, or your job is in social media, so it's not like this. Like, they make it seem like even being a social media influencer is like, it doesn't count as like a real job. I'm not a social media influencer, by the way.
Well, that's not correct, like I said to you before. I'm Generation X, not even millennial, but I've been working for myself for a while. Right. Nearly 10 years, I've not worked for anyone. So I've been internet-based in everything that I do. Yeah. So I would say Generation X and Generation Millennial is the same. There is no difference.
There's not a huge difference.
Yeah.
I don't think
because
so
my parents
and
tell
we're not
me
threatened.
That we didn't work hard enough. We have been taught, and we're the ones who've been, make sure you go to school, make sure you do this, make sure you don't depend on a man for the job, that sort of thing. We've had crazy pressure on us. So we have been seen the same way. I think the only slight difference is that I think the millennials are a little bit on the, which word, how do I make this sound nice? A bit on the rapid side, because look at me.
See, that's another thing.
In fact, we are the ones teaching them the social media.
Oh my goodness!
Like I said it. That is true. You are obviously. She's actually in the last.
You're the younger millennial.
Yes. What's your thought?
You should be in Z.
See,
close
to Z.
See, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm kind of like, I do think we are in quite a self generation, and social media has played a huge part into careers, and I think it's more like who you know than what you know. And I was saying to Ethel earlier, kind of like, there's different life skills that in my generation, we wouldn't have necessarily learned at school, to the older generations where, you know, you can be still really successful in your platform, but actually for some stuff, like for me, there's still like a lot of life skills that I'm like, oh, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm still learning, and so I don't know, I'm kind of in the middle. I think social media is like a great thing, and I think it's like opened so many doors, but I think it's kind of like, it's a different kind of pressure. I think, you know, both generations have had struggles, but I think it's a different kind. Yeah, I think it's like, you know, for example, YouTube, it's just, you can do it within your own home. You can, you know, you can literally just you can put yourself out there really easily. Yeah. But then I think the hard work maybe comes under kind of like, once you're out there, you've got to keep up with certain standards.
Exactly.
You've got to,
there's a lot you have to do, and I feel like the problem is with the older generation is that they don't understand that there is a wheel turning in the background of all that stuff they're seeing on the forefront. So there are a lot of older people, maybe you don't notice, but if you go on social media and you spend a lot of time on social media, there are a lot of older people who will say, these social media influencers, they don't have any work ethic, they just take pictures and that's it. Wrong. There's actually a lot of work that goes into all of these kinds of jobs. And I think when I say threatened, I feel like it's because to an extent, some older people are threatened because they do not understand. Whenever you don't understand something, you automatically have this guard, like, oh, they're YouTubers and they're making millions of being YouTubers. Yeah, but you have to spend like 7 days a week editing your video. You have to think of content. You have to deal with brand deals. You are running your own business. There's tax involved. We're now using skills that people once upon a time thought of as ridiculous, and we're making them very useful now. They're useful. So I could just be an artist, but now my art is considered like a useful thing in this world where you need apps and digital media and all of that stuff. So I do think to an extent the older generation who don't get it do feel slightly threatened by the stuff that they don't understand.
Well, I would like to know what any of our viewers actually think about this. Are you a millennial? Are you from the X generation? Are you from the baby boomer generation? And what is your say on whether you feel millennials are entitled, or do you feel that, you know, millennials are actually doing their due diligence in terms of being contributory factors to society as well, in terms of, you know, finances, infrastructure, that sort of thing? Do you consider their work, you know, actual work? Let us know. Give us a call. The lines are open. Give us a call and send us your opinions. We want to know what you have to say on the matter. I think for me, when it comes to the again, you know, the whole gap and some people feeling threatened, I think it's probably only a select number of people. I think the disconnect again comes with the way some of the millennials present themselves, to the point where, you know, sometimes I think the way you present yourself will give people an image of you that makes you think that, okay, you actually do not work for your living, you know, you're taking it for granted. I think that's another thing as well, hence the sense of entitlement, where it probably comes from, where they just feel like, I can just do this, you know, if I go here and they'll give me free food or a free dress or whatever, you know, and, you know what I mean? Whereas I think when it comes to the other generation, again, there's always going to be, even as a parent, there's always that sense you want your child to work just as hard, you know, not because you think that they're ungrateful or anything like that, but at the end of the day, I think it's human nature to want people to have a root understanding, not just an understanding, a root understanding of what it means to really grind. So it might not necessarily be in the exact same way, but they want to be able to actually see something. And I think when it comes to social media influencers, that sort of thing, because it's done in a home or whatever, and they have a set, yes, a lot of work is put into that, because I know what that's like, you know. But because they don't get to witness it,
it doesn't feel real.
It doesn't feel real, you know. And then there's only certain amount, I think, that do go around into showing behind the scenes of how they put certain things together to give a better understanding. And because of that, that creates that disconnect, you know, where they're like, okay, they must not be, like, they literally jump on a camera, because if they buy their child a phone or a camera and they're taking pictures, next thing they put on YouTube and it goes viral, they're like, you see, it was literally just that.
It was just that 2 seconds of work,
exactly.
and that, which is not true.
You know, which is not fact.
It's not fact. And it's even like, just even beyond careers, like even the way we deal with life in general, the way we date, the way we go about with our friendships and relationships, I feel like older people do try make us feel like we're not on that, especially the generation above the baby boomers, if you're not married by a certain time or you don't have kids,
that's the quiet generation.
Yeah, they'll just be judging you.
The heck out of us.
Honestly, I think I even had one of my older aunts ask me if I was a lesbian once. And I was like, what? She's like, why aren't you married? You're like almost 30. I'm like, first of all, I still have a good 4 or 5 years to go before I'm 30. Second of all, it's not like that anymore. We don't.
And even if you're not a lesbian, so what?
Yeah, and even if I was a lesbian, what's the big deal?
Human beings anyway.
Yeah, you know. And women, honestly, and women make more sense than men. So. But I feel like in that generation, they don't quite understand why we're not doing things similar to the way that they're doing.
Yeah. I don't know what you're doing that is different from what they were doing.
They never had technology, even though the silent generation never even had technology.
Baby boomers. Even the Gen X, I feel like they don't get it either because they still have to get married.
I'm Gen X, and I
But I think you two ladies are definitely an exception. They're a good exception. But there are more traditional people who will probably look at younger people like us, like, what's the matter with you? What's going on?
It's interesting you actually say that. I'm very fortunate. My father, when I was growing up, even if he's very traditional, very strict, I came from a very, very strict home.
I don't think he's as strict as my dad.
Oh my
gosh. My dad, literally, if you're not doing anything, you have to be reading a book. Those were the rules. Literally, the memes that we see on the internet, those are true to some of our lives.
I never cooked for once until I left my parents' house.
Because
all they wanted you to do was read your book.
Oh, wow.
Everyone in my house is a graduate.
I learned how to use a computer by myself when I was 11 years old. So my dad was advanced in the sense that he did always make sure we've got technology, we've got everything that was advanced in our home. So I was very fortunate in that aspect. He made sure we went to great schools. And so he always wanted us to be advanced, to know everything that's happening. And my parents were always well-traveled because of their jobs, and so they always brought
my mom
in
was
what they
my
brought
teacher,
back.
all true.
And so as a result, that it was easy for me to transition. That's why I think I get on fine with millennials, that sort of thing. For me, it's just At the same time, I am able to see some of them and go, sort yourself out. You better get your life because this is not it. You know what I mean? There are some who think. And some who are ignorant enough not to do their research into understanding actually my friend is actually viral because she's putting in ABCD work. Do you see what I mean? Some of them don't understand it and they actually think they can get famous overnight.
Exactly.
So there is a misconception that comes with it on both the people who are the X-Gen and the baby boomers, as well as fellow millennials who actually think, like that, I know I'm going to be famous.
Especially
all I have to do is go viral.
I'm
so going to go viral.
Even the ones younger than us, sometimes they actually don't need to put in that much effort to even just go viral.
They have to be cute.
Just be cute. Or do they open presents and stuff on their videos? See, now I sound like the generation of
you know the little girl who's got she's the youngest girl to have 10 million views on YouTube. She's British and she's now got her own show on Pop. Don't ask me why I'm watching Pop channel.
I love the Pop. I love baby Pop.
I know, right? But I was like, 10 million. I had to go and check it out myself. And then me and I couldn't help researching her entirely. I ended up researching her in her entirety.
Her life.
Her net worth is 13.5 million. Because she's getting
brand deals.
She's getting branding deals. She's getting endorsements, and now she's got the show on Pop. And Pop is actually a subsidiary of Sony. If anybody doesn't know that.
Way.
Yes.
So she's a social media celebrity.
She's an influencer.
And it all started with her parents filming her opening Christmas presents.
Wow.
Okay, see, when I look at stuff like that, that's when I'm like, okay, I kind of get why Gen X is a little bit annoyed because you could just do stuff like that and get famous without much strategy.
But if you don't see it through, you have to have consistency.
No.
You have to start putting in the work afterwards.
Then
if you don't, you'll be like a one-hit wonder. You'll be like a one-hit wonder if you don't put in the work.
And they'll be influenced, I think, as well. As they grow up, they start to think from a young age, it's that easy, But then it's kind of, overnight, you may not be the trend anymore, and then you've got to be aware.
And I think that's also the issue with why a lot of people who are, especially the millennials, who are really rushing for the reality shows. Because they think, if I'm on this reality show, I'm going to make it big one time. And that's why Winnie Harlow got a lot of flack. when she said America's Next Top Model did nothing for her, because I think what she did not know at the time is, yes, America's Next Top Model is a show that's been running for a long time. However, just because you've appeared in one series doesn't mean that you're going to be an overnight sensation. The ones who've actually done really well out of it have carried on to keep pushing afterwards. That's how it works. You have to keep putting in the work.
That's true. Then I also remember there was a lady who was in Big Brother last year.
Which Big Brother, Niger?
No, just UK, and she came from America. She was a social media celebrity.
Trisha Paytas! I love her.
Oh my gosh!
But she finally left the Big Brother before it even finished.
She's the what was it? 3 days.
I mentioned to you about the lack of interaction.
She's used to having the camera by herself. What is it she does? Mukbangs? She eats?
Yeah, she eats a lot.
And that was the only reason why she was admitted in that Big Brother is because of her following.
Yeah, she's got millions of followers.
You know?
So she didn't need Big Brother. I think she was just trying to look for a different kind of platform.
Yes, well, a lot of people knew her from there.
You got paid
everyone that knows her.
I knew her
from
Celebrity Big Brother. She was part of Celebrity Big Brother. Everyone in Celebrity Big Brother gets paid. Everyone that goes in normal Big Brother, they probably just compensate for what would you be your rent and your actual expenses. Just for those who want to know how it actually works.
I'm learning new things.
But most of the Celebrity Big Brother
actually get paid.
Yeah, but that money goes to their charity. You know, I don't think it's personal.
No, they
select their charity.
No, the money they win is for the charity. But they get paid
on
to get into the house.
Yes.
Oh wow. Where do I sign up?
Yeah. Are you a celebrity now?
No. What's the normal one? Is there a Big Brother normal one? I want to start that one.
Of course,
they don't have that.
Of course, it's normal.
It's over. You're late.
It's over anyway. Yeah.
You're absolutely late. But anyways, ladies.
So it was for the Gen S. It's not for the millennials. So that's why it's got.
Okay, so we've skewed a lot on this one. We're going to move on to our next topic. That was a lot of fun. So, as you notice, we've got a special guest here, Bethleah Dobbs, who is of half Nigerian and half British heritage. And basically, she's here to give us a better insight, or should I say first-person account, of what it means, or the question being that, is our sense of identity dependent on us knowing our cultural heritage or background? Beth, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you here. So tell us about yourself, Beth, where you come from. We just want to know a lot about your situation.
So I've grown up in the UK all my life, sort of Surrey area, and I've got a bit of a church background, so it's just me and my mum at home. And so I was living in a very small village near Heathrow, actually. And so, it was sort of community where everyone knew each other. So, it was lovely. But I only know my mum's side. So my mum is from Cornwall. So I only know my British background. And my dad, who's from Nigeria. So when I was a baby, I think he only saw me twice, and then he left back to Nigeria. And so growing up, it was very normal for me to grow up with just having one parent, having a mum. And I actually laugh about it. When I was younger, I used to think that was normal, and then I'd see two parents. I'd be like, what? I used to be like,
what is that two parents?
Yeah, why is that two parents? It's so funny. I used to think I just magically appeared. Immaculate conception. I know, so it was very normal for me. And to be honest with you, I was quite a simple child. I didn't really have many questions. I was just quite content. But the only thing I noticed was, so I've grown up in quite a predominantly white area. There wasn't much diversity. So even at a young age, I would sort of be like, well, I look very different to everyone else. I don't,
Some are really very white. They're all very white. Are you looking at your skin? I'm so tired.
Because I'd be my friends, a majority of them were white, and I'd feel like I could connect with them, but there were just some things that they wouldn't understand, especially when it came to hair. That was just fascinating for them, and so I was sort of looking at it going, what's so okay? And then I started to realise, oh my goodness, I am just really different. So it was kind of one of those things where it was hard to sort of feel, I felt like I had to be like in a box, but I didn't feel like I fitted in a box. So a lot of people would be kind of like, my mum would pick me up and they'd be like, is that really your mum? And so just from a young age I would feel like, I'd have to explain myself quite a lot, and because obviously in the physical no one would see my dad and the other side of my cultural background. So from a young age I had to really think like, this is like for people that have grown up in sort of like almost the same sort of cultural background, they don't really see past that, and that's really different for them. So it was kind of hard. I love my family and my mum, and it was great, but it was just, there was like little things where I just felt like I was a bit on the outside, like I just couldn't, they wouldn't really relate to any of my struggles, and I could vice versa. Yeah, exactly.
So you didn't see your dad up until now?
No, and I don't.
You don't.
Like I don't know who he is really. And so in some way, I think that explains why I haven't. Like, I've been quite content as a child. I think because as a baby, unless you build that relationship, you don't know what you're missing out on.
Right.
And, I was saying to Ethel earlier, like, when you grow up in a place that's not very diverse, you don't know any different. So it's kind of like, I've always felt like there's something missing, there's something, a part of me that, I wish I could embrace, but like, on the outside, I wasn't surrounded with like diverse people, so I kind of just ended up just being just in a bubble almost, in a bubble. Wow. I'm quite an open person, I'm quite an open-minded person, but like I just didn't know one thing about Nigeria, and it's only as I've got older, just
so you've never been there?
No, never been there.
I have to take you there.
I'll do that.
So your daddy's tribe, where is it from?
She doesn't know.
When I mean I'm clueless.
Did you know his surname?
No, and actually my mum was saying like she didn't know him for very long, so it wasn't like a very like serious long-term relationship. And actually he went straight back. All I know is that he went straight back to Nigeria, like after I was like born, and my mum obviously she was very comfortable about bringing me up here, because I think there was a point where he was like, well,
it's possible he wanted to see you. Who knows, maybe he was deported, you never know.
I
could
really
have
don't
been
know.
deported.
That's okay. So what you're saying is that your cultural background makes up who you are, or you think that it makes up part of who you are, or
so I think for me it's kind of like it is a part of you, but it's not all of who you are.
That's true.
And I think I may have had the same experience as someone else, but because I was quite content in who I was growing up, and because of my faith as well, like I've grown up going to church, and I've never really felt like there was something missing, because I've not been, chasing.
Older.
I've not been chasing that one thing. I've been kind of like, do you know what? There is more to life, and it's okay. And if I'm honest with you, like growing up and knowing God, I kind of saw him as that like father that I didn't have, and I think that made a big difference. And my mum was great; she was amazing, and I got to experience all the things that all my friends got to experience.
Right.
And I just had really like strong relationships with like people from church, so I kind of felt that family. I felt that but then there's still a part of you that is like
you're curious.
You're curious,
you want to know.
It's just normal, and it's only as I've got older where I've gone, where I've met people from more diverse backgrounds, where I've been like, like I wish I knew more about that, or even simple things like food. I'm like, I didn't get to try all this amazing cool food, and just and I think it's really important. I've learned actually, doesn't matter if you've necessarily grown up. If you don't know that half of your family, that culture, you can still take control into learning more about it by putting yourself in social situations, through going outside of your bubble, to put it. And I found, as different things I've done here and there, career-wise, I've met different people and I've made connections, and I've put myself. I've gone to places. I went to Birmingham. I lived in Birmingham for a couple of years, and that was very diverse to where I was. And so I've put myself in different situations, of which I've been able to, just feel like I could connect a little bit in that way. And I'm still on that journey, Out throughout life, you're going to meet loads of people, and I'm still on that journey of just kind of like discovering more.
So more on the light side of it, what is one of the things that you're really interested in wanting to get to learn? Whether it be clothes or how to do your hair differently, or is it the food? What is it that you're really eager to learn?
Okay, I think definitely the food, because I learned a lot of different types of Cornish food.
Honestly, you do know that me and Theodora are Nigerian, so go. So you one of us.
You can visit with your mom and I'll cook you real traditional Nigerian dishes.
I can't cook to save my life, but
you can't.
I don't cook.
My husband.
Oh my gosh!
Millennials. But don't worry.
And now she's like, we're Nigerian. I cannot cook to save my life.
I can cook so well. You name it, anything, as long as it's a Nigerian dish.
In Nigeria, they do a lot of spicy food.
We love spicy.
I'm really good with spicy.
It's in me.
It's in my blood.
Book an appointment and you have any dish that you want.
I'll come too, because I'm not cooking nothing. But I know the restaurant.
When she comes, make sure you're teaching her.
Honestly, I will teach her.
I can make stew. I can do good jollof rice and
in fact, I'll tell you the secret. That's how I won my husband's heart.
Hey!
Food is the way.
He loved my food. The first day my husband visited my house in Slough, I cooked ila lasapo, whatever they call it in Yoruba. That's okra.
I love okra.
Ate it and he never looked back again.
I would have married her too. I love okra. Amazing.
Do you?
Have we got any viewers out there who are curious about their cultural background? Are you mixed race, or have you been adopted, or are you questioning? Have you got questions about your heritage, or how do you feel it has affected you in terms of growing up outside your own cultural background or heritage? If it's affected you in any way, shape or form, and you would like to give us your views, please give us a call. Or if you're someone who's raising a child who has, from a background that's different from your own, give us a call if you can, give us your take on it, give us your comment. We are really interested to find out more, because this is an amazing story, because I think it affects a lot of people, not just people who are mixed race like Beth, but children who've been adopted, children who basically maybe even those that surrogates, things like that, they might want to know what their actual blood heritage might be, and we want to hear what you have to say, so give us a call. We're right here waiting for you to give us a call. So Beth, that was absolutely amazing, and I think I highly commend you for coming on the show and talking about it, because it's not always easy to talk about something like that. It's obviously something that's quite sensitive, and
absolutely.
all I can say is, if there's anybody that knows anything about Beth, maybe you might have an inclination that you've got a relative out there who is from Cornwall, the place where they make the Cornish pasties. You can get in touch with the show, and let us know if you might be related to Beth, because she really does want to find out. She might have brothers and sisters, cousins out there that she might want to know. If you get in touch with Ben Television or the SPORAH Show, and we'll put you in touch with Beth. You're welcome to contact us.
But if you know your daddy's surname and where he's from, you'll be able to track him. His first name and surname, it will be easy.
Well, not track, but just know what your tribe you're from. That kind
I think that's the hard thing. I don't. My mum doesn't know that much information.
Our producer backstage says that he thinks she's Igbo. Is it Igbo?
They're just going, hi, how I look.
She looks Igbo.
Yes. Igbo.
How do you look Igbo or Yoruba or Hausa or...
but do you know that when I see people sometimes I can actually tell where they're from even before they speak.
Seriously?
Yes, sometimes I do.
Yoruba.
Yoruba.
See, you don't even know.
No, not really. You don't really look Yoruba, but somehow,
Somehow
but
I look Yoruba.
I'm always, on point to pick at tribes when I see people.
Is it?
I
can't tell the difference.
Oh well. Anyways, moving right along, Theodora. Obviously, you're still reeling in your Valentine's mode.
Yeah.
And you've got a relationship-based topic for us. Tell us what it is.
Yes. My topic for you guys is: are you a jealous person when it comes to relationships? Tell us your views.
Are you a jealous person when it comes to relationships?
I mean, you have to define what jealousy is.
What level? Like from a scale of 1 to 100, how jealous are you?
Maybe 1 to 10.
You 1 to 10?
1 to 10.
1 to 10 is like
1 to 100. Because it's
On a
levels.
scale of 1 to 10.
10 being the highest?
Yeah, 10
9.
You're 9.
Yes, I would say 9. I'm very jealous, but
Wow.
you might not see it that way. I might be quiet and looking at you like.
But she will tear you.
You're leaving it for later.
Yes, yes. I'm burning in my heart.
Oh, child.
I'm very jealous. And what I hate most is a woman calling my husband after 11 o'clock. Whatever business it is, I don't want to know.
Hours?
Booty call hours.
No, I call them prostitute hours. I'm like, do not call like prostitute hours.
You say prostitute, I'm like booty call.
Yeah, prostitute hours. Because I think there are some hours which are inappropriate. If someone is married, I think it is not it's not even good manners anyway.
Anyone really.
You know, it's not good manners to call someone who's married, I think, especially the opposite sex, you know, at particular times, you know. And so when it comes to jealousy, I think for me, I might be a 9 as well, because I don't know, I feel like that people in this generation, and I'm not talking about even the X-gen or whatever, just in general. People society has made it seem okay to cheat. Society has made it seem okay to over window shop. I'm not even talking about just window shop. Over window shop. It's like, why are you looking at exactly? You know? And for me, that is a problem, you know. I can even go as far as bringing my faith into it. Said the Bible says, if you so as look at a woman as to even think of her, you've already committed adultery.
Wow.
So, yes. And so I take that to heart, because I'm like, you know, it's stuff like that that actually arouses temptation.
That's right.
Small things like that, you know, they arouse temptation. Some people think, oh, I'm just looking. And then looking becomes a habit. And then the habit of looking becomes, oh, let me touch a little bit. Oh, I'm touching a little bit. Oh, how about I touch a little bit more? Oh, how about a hotel room so we can touch some more? And before you know, it's completely out of control.
They say to you, oh, you've got nice legs.
I feel like we're touching some nerves. I don't have time to be a jealous person, because I understand that everybody is so human. If you're attracted to somebody, I don't feel like this. If you've got self-control and discipline, but you find someone attractive, you're okay. It's okay for me to say this person is good looking. It's okay for me to look and appreciate the beauty of that person. But as an adult, as a grown-up person with some wisdom, don't you know not to go in that direction?
There's a line.
Yeah, so maybe because for me, I know there's a line. Like, oh, he's cute, but my man is right here.
I'll tell you something. Even the ladies, or whoever it is, if it's a lady complimenting you or a man complimenting you know, they could take your compliments for granted.
Oh, they get too excited.
Yes. Oh, yes. You give a woman a lift to her house, and she thinks, oh, you probably liking her because that's why you're giving a lift. You pay for her meal, she thinks, oh, he likes me, that's why he's paying for me, or he fancies me. Of course, there are limits to what you do for a woman. Sometimes they take advantage of it.
But even for men, though, there are men as well, where if you're just nice to them, they think, oh my God, can I have your number? And you're like, I'm just being nice. I don't understand. Like, can I not be friendly? Can I not be nice? If I'm not nice, if I blank you, oh, look at her, she's so rude. She thinks she's special.
That's the way that they act.
You know?
They only are
I
nice
have the nicest husband.
I know.
That's why I'm talking. I have the nicest husband.
She really does.
Whatever he can do for me, he can do it for anybody.
Aww.
And I do know that some people might, you know, think he's fancying them, but he does. They don't know that his nature. Yeah, people don't understand that. And when you do them favors, they think, oh, he's fancying me. It's a lie. He's not fancying you.
How far does the one have to go? What about just on his part? How far does he have to go before he makes you jealous? Yeah. Like, what's it that he's doing to make you jealous?
He hasn't really done anything to make me jealous. I'm just talking generally.
What would he have to do?
What can I say now? Don't tell a lady. oh, your legs are beautiful.
Oh no,
don't compliment
that. That's a bit much. I think that's like
very obvious. That would be.
That's just like. Have you been in a relationship where you felt kind of like
Oh, where I've been like
jealous?
Oh, okay, right. Here's the thing. I'm a very laid back person, but I think I don't know. I don't know if it's a girl thing, but I overthink a lot. So I don't know if it's a girl thing just to read into things. But unless it's very kind of just like flirty, and here's the thing, it depends on what you define the line as being flirtatious and being friendly.
Right.
So most of the time, unless they're like going really like, I don't know, doing more than, if they're treating this one individual like differently to other girls, then I'd be like, what is that? But yeah, I don't think, I like to say
that was spot on.
Where is your scale then on a 2?
That's spot on.
You sound like a 2.
Because I've not been in a relationship for a while. It could be one of those things. So you know, like subconsciously, you're like, I don't know. For example, say if maybe he's talking to a girl, like unless you, I guess, are friends or like you know that person well, you can back your mind think, oh, I don't really know the intentions or like it just depends. It really does depend. But maybe a 5 or lower. It just depends.
I think I'm the same.
5 or lower.
I think 5 or lower is healthy.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm quite content in not being in a relationship, because I feel like maybe I need to put my jealousy in check first
before you get into that.
Oh my God!
Who's that? What are you holding?
No. Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10,
especially when we go through our emotions, the women we get more sensitive at certain periods of time. Where you're like, who's that? No, why is there female voices? You know, it could even be their boss. You're like, why is she calling you? Seriously, she's calling me.
It's my boss.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, viewers out there, are you a jealous person when it comes to relationship, or have you been a victim of a jealous spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend? You know, what's that been like for you? Give us a call, give us a ring, and join in the conversation. We would like to hear your opinion. We would like to know what you have to say on the subject. I think when it comes to jealousy, I think sometimes when a lot of people embark into a relationship, it normally starts off with trust. Your trust is normally 100%. And so jealousy is not always there. But I think depending on how the guy treats you and the things they do, certain tendencies and, you know, behaviors, they start triggering the loss of trust, which ends up basically, jealousy ends up infiltrating in place of trust, I think. And so I think sometimes it is down to how the partner respects to say, actually, I'm in a relationship now. You know, people need to realize once you are in a relationship, as much as we hate to admit this, you will have to make compromises and adjust your behavior.
Absolutely.
You cannot just be willy-nilly with girls around or boys around or whichever, you know, the same way as you would when you were single.
Absolutely.
When you're in a relationship, because you have to think about someone else. You've taken on an entire person into your life, you know, whose heart is basically been put onto you, you know, and anything that basically would disturb that causes heartbreak and basically a lot of problems, you know.
I think that for sure. And I think if you are the kind of person who's easily jealous, you must on some level, maybe subconsciously, know the kind of man that you have or know the kind of girlfriend that you have. If you feel the need to always be walking on eggshells, like, is this person gonna cheat? Before you go into that relationship, call, didn't you know this the kind of person he is? If you feel on some level that he's gonna cheat on you, honey, why did you put yourself in that kind of situation? You know your man. You should know your man to the extent that you would know, oh, he definitely wouldn't cheat on me. Your man will never surprise you. Don't act surprised when he cheats because you knew.
There are some who are sneaky though. There are some who are like really masters of the trade. So
they're not that clever.
That is true.
They're not always that clever, but there are some who are actually really good at it. Like there are some who are really. You've seen some of these movies that are based on true stories where a man has an entire family. Naturally, he's married and everything, and he's got an entire family elsewhere. And and then they find out after he dies or after something
had a wife in Spain
that he's got a wife in sometimes it's not even in Spain. Sometimes it's even just in the next
2 doors over.
Yes. You know,
but she knows.
Some who are good.
Some people don't know.
You know,
we have a spirit of discernment that's just so amazing, and I feel like you would just know. There's not a single way that on some level you wouldn't be like, there is something going on. And if you act surprised, it's because you were ignoring that intuition in the first place.
That's right.
I've always sensed when I've been cheated on, I'm like,
you just know.
I'm like, yep. there's been cheating.
Exactly.
And my friend's like, trust me, you'll see. Next thing I know, guess who I saw? I'm like, there you go.
Exactly.
Wow.
We can't be deceived. I don't think a woman is ever surprised. Honey, you knew.
But I think it depends. Some people, when they get into relationships, they wanted the relationship so bad.
But they might think they're so in love that they just don't see it. Because actually, I think that's why it's so important to have friends around you to see those blind spots that you don't see. Because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just a thing for like my age, my generation, but I don't know, you seem to feel like, okay, well, I don't want to lose a relationship, so I'm just going to ignore those things, or they're not really that serious, and that's dangerous. So I think to help with like jealousy, it's not even that, it's just having boundaries. Unless someone gives you a reason to, break down those boundaries, you know what I mean? Like, one example I can think of, like for me, I like to have friends that are guys and friends that are girls. And it could be the same for him. He might have like female friends, and that is fine. But you've got to think, when you get into a relationship, are the boundaries going to be exactly the same? Because would you feel comfortable like, oh, hey babe, I'm just going to go and have a one-on-one coffee and chat with so-and-so. And you've got to think about, like, is that okay now in a relationship? I know you were friends before, but it's kind of different, you know? So you've got to think, late night, you know, you've got to think why.
That's a good question. Like, if they were friends before, why isn't it okay now for him to go out for a chat with her if he's known her before you? Like, or do you want to be that girlfriend that's like, I don't like that anymore? Do you want to break that kind of
if they were friends before, carry on, be friends, but that friend should have limits and respect. She should realize that you are now married. And if she used to call him after 11 before, she should stop. Realize that this guy is... Because I tell you what, I was watching the Nollywood movie sometime as well. There was this man. There was this guy who had a close friend. They were not dating. They were just friends. They always chat. They tell each other whatever they want to tell each other. You know, if he has a relationship, he will say, this is what's happening. If the girl has a relationship... But it was just on a platonic level. They were just normal friends. And the guy got married. This girl also keeps calling the guy, you know, so they can chat, go out and stuff like that. But you know what? At some point, that platonic relationship went into another level. The guy eventually impregnated the girl.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's definitely Nollywood.
Yeah, but they were not doing that before.
Do you know what? Wow. Your Nollywood story, there's a real life story, not similar, not the pregnancy part, but a reality show called Married to Medicine. One of the doctors, her husband had like a best friend. And when they had the reunion show, they were announcing, they've, filing for divorce. And everyone's like, how did this happen? Because nobody knew. They were like the perfect couple. And it turned out his best friend was the one that was causing the wedge between the two. And his best friend happens to be female. And so he had to get rid of his best friend in order to keep his marriage and his family.
I think that's fair.
So that's because there were no boundaries on that, so it caused a rift within the marriage where she ended up just focusing on her work, and then he was spending more time with his best friend, and they were not even communicating because of it. So it just, it was something small and it built up. It built up, and so, but now they're okay. They're back together because he had to get rid of his best friend. They've resolved it.
Because you wouldn't want to be that person that breaks up a friendship that's probably been building for like.
But at the same time, you don't want to be the person that breaks up a marriage too. At the end of the day, the way I see it, if I've got a guy friend who I'm really close with, or even a girlfriend who I'm really close with, and they end up in relationships, I have to be able to understand, to say, okay, I'm going to have to step back a bit. It's all about respecting those boundaries. Again,
or even if you want to continue your relationship or friendship with the guy, you can go to him through the lady.
Become
her friend. If you want to chat with him, call the lady. Oh, where's your husband? Can we go out for something like that? That's like kind of respect. But You going to the man directly all the time, calling him.
I think that's rude.
Disrespect.
Yeah, I had to cut off a friendship because of
that. It's not nice at all, because if it's done to me, I wouldn't like it, and I wouldn't want to do it to a man. I'm married, and then a man is asking me out. You want me to go for dinner? I'm not dating you, but then if someone sees me in a restaurant with another man, then 2-3 times, they start thinking, she's dating the guy.
See,
well, it's just normal chat.
We would think like that, like I should probably make friends with his girlfriend. Yeah. But I feel like a lot of guys don't have that same mindset, because I have a lot of male friends, but not once have I met a lot of those guys' girlfriends. Not a single time. I have one particular friend I had to cut our friendship off, because every time he comes to London, he'll text me, do you want to get dinner? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do something? And I'll be like, I've never met your girlfriend. Who is your wife? No, it's his girlfriend, but let me tell you something. In your own situation, that is different.
Why? He is not married. You are not married.
I don't like that.
No, hold on. He's not married. You're not married.
I'm not interested in him in that way.
Maybe he's not in a serious relationship.
It's serious,
and he doesn't want people to know.
But it's serious.
You don't want the repercussions.
Or did he have a girlfriend?
I don't want that. I should be able to, like, does your girlfriend know you're meeting me, a single girl? Is she comfortable? If I've never met her and you keep asking me for dinner,
is still a single girl. She's not married.
No, they're in a relationship.
Relationship, married or not? He has a girlfriend?
No, I know he has a girlfriend. I know. I've seen her. I've seen the pictures. She's very much real.
Well, I think, there is a producer that I used to work with, and we kind of grew close. And it turns out, obviously, he had a girlfriend, and because he's literally his studio was in the house, I had to go to the house. But because it was in the living room, I used to spend a lot of time there. But obviously, when I noticed that there was a woman there, because it was all guys, I actually started getting to know her. Okay, this is around 2004. Fast forward today, she's actually literally my best friend in the whole world. Like my best friend.
How it should be.
So it transitioned, and they're not even in a relationship anymore, and I'm with her now. It's like, so
I think women should support women. If you have a male friend, try and get to know his. If there's a girlfriend involved, make friends with the girlfriend, or else things are looking a bit suspect.
If you hide to have a meeting with somebody's husband,
then feel guilty.
Then there's something you're hiding.
Exactly.
Yeah,
what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your last thoughts?
I've got it because it just sparked something. I just got a real life situation of that. So one of my exes. So when I went to visit him, he was friends with this girl. She's called Esther. She was lovely. He was with Esther.
You have to make it really quick because we have to come to the close of the show. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and I remember her making such an effort with me to the point where, I didn't have a reason to feel jealous for their friendship.
That's really good.
And in the end, we became so close, and even when my relationship with him ended, we were so close, we stayed in contact, and I never felt any. I think maybe if she was distant and she wasn't, trying to get to know me, and she was just more focused on getting to know him, I'd be a bit like, what is that?
Yeah.
But I think girls should definitely lift up other girls.
I think it's important. I think in closing, basically, I think it is important if you're going to engage in a friendship with someone who is of the opposite sex in terms of friendships, make the effort with the other, with their partner. That way you don't cause a rift in the relationship. But on that note, we have come to the end of the show. Thank you so much, viewers, for tuning in. A special thank you to Beth for coming in today. And to my co-host, Esther and Theodora. Love you as always. It's been fantastic. Again, it's been another fun show. And so our viewers out there, we'll be back again next week, Tuesday, with another fan-packed show where we'll still be filling in for SPORAH. We hope to see her back again here soon from Tanzania. We miss you, SPORAH. And until next time, it's goodbye from us.
Bye.
It's another brand new episode of The SPORAH Show.
What are you trying to tell me?